Alright, hi people, it is Shakes here, and I'm here to do an unboxing today, and review of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection SPD Omega Ranger and his Uniforce cycle, which is actually very interesting. First, like, 6th Ranger, I guess, to get, the, uh, the treatment of having a vehicle with it. I imagine they might do separate vehicle toy things to have for the Rangers after most of the figures are out and everything. And yeah, just for like comparison, I will be having the Shadow Ranger right here. So yeah, because they previously released the Shadow Ranger and the SPD Red Ranger, which I should probably get at some point in the near future, but we'll see when that is. So yeah. So right here we have the box, which is the same kind of design as the other boxes, which have been in this comic book kind of style of the Ranger suit, and then the backgrounds are the color, or go with the colors and everything. Something Dawson Ryder brought up in his review of this figure is the fact that they have this picture 3 times, and I'll show the back in a second, but like they have it on the front here, and they have 2 different pictures on the back, which makes no sense to me, honestly. Yeah, so on the front here you can see the Ranger, or the Omega Ranger suit, which is really cool, and a promo picture of the figure on the bike, Power Rangers Lightning Collection logo, and then what this is. So, yeah. With, I think, different languages, maybe, or whatever the translations were for the season in other languages. So yeah, you got the SPD logo right here, again, the Omega Ranger suit right there. Nothing on the top. Other side, same, or the Omega Ranger again. On the bottom you have a thing, diagram that shows, how to put the things in the, cycle and everything, because they do come separate from it. And then the back, like I said, 2 different versions of the same picture with a different background. So yeah, him right here with the orange and then the grayish silver kind of thing, like the front version of the picture there. Don't know why they did this exactly, but yeah, but then again, there's the picture showing that it can roll, but you'd assume it would anyways. I don't know. And I think the other figures might come with like a diagram to show how to move everything, but this does not. So yeah. So first off, showing the Uniforce cycle. It's actually really cool. And they decided to put this in, and everything. And oh, there's a wheel right here too that lets you spin it as well. It's actually really nice. But yeah, so this wheel does spin, as it shows, and yeah, and these are very separate. I don't like how these are very, very loose within here. I don't like it at all. And it easily comes out. I don't like that at all. Looks like I'm gonna have to super glue it because it's very, very loose. And I feel like it's supposed to just peg into there, because you see that on for the hole right there. It's supposed to peg in, but I don't think it's... Yeah, I don't think this is long enough to really let that happen. The other side does pretty okay, as you guys can see. So, I don't know what was going on there, as well as the fact that, it's a bit confusing putting these in, for me personally, because, like, I don't know, it says right there, so it's on the right side, but that also looks like it pegs in over here. It's really confusing as to how to peg these in correctly, and then the right one just doesn't want to fit. Gotta super glue that. Meanwhile, these on the bottom here click in pretty nicely. At the very least on mine, you might have a different experience, but like, the things for his feet click in pretty nice, so, and are pretty sturdy, like you have to actually force it out, which that makes it good that they did it like that, but I don't understand why this is like this. Makes no sense to me. And then on top of that, it looks uneven. I don't understand. Oh, unless if it's supposed to be like this, like it is on the other side. But it looks uneven. It's really dumb the way that they molded this, because like, I don't get that whatsoever. But to go over basically everything else, I think the paint is actually pretty good, because like, it's probably pretty easy to paint something like this when you have a diagram right in front of you or a picture that shows what to paint. Yeah, and like it showed, this can move up there, but it can also move that way. I don't know why, but it can. So if you want to actually play with the figure, you can put that up and then put it back down for the kickstand aspects of it. So, yeah. Now for the figure, but first the hands. It doesn't come with any weapons, because the Omega Ranger didn't have regular weapons, but he comes with two different hands that are basically the same, just for... Actually, they are exactly the same hands, except the one in front, has, like, less detail than the one that shoots the lightning. That's really odd for what that is to me. But you have the open hand, and you have the open hand shooting energy, which was one of his powers in the show itself. But yeah. So now we get to the figure, and I think that they did a pretty good job with this figure. I know the head sculpts are a little bit wonky, which I will not be getting the Drago Ranger when it comes out over here, because unless if they fix the helmets or offer a replacement program to get better versions of the helmet sculpt, because for some reason the visor on that figure is really bad in terms of like the sculpt and paint, or just mainly the sculpt on it. And it's really weird because they have production photos of what it's supposed to look like on the back of the box, and it doesn't even remotely look like it's supposed to. The one on the back of the box is show accurate, or more show accurate, I should say, but that figure is itself not. From what we've seen of the earlier releases in Malaysia, so I hope that they do something for that, because that's really not that good, in my opinion. But yeah. But as you can see, the head is actually pretty well sculpted, even has his microphone thing right there. And everything is actually pretty good and pretty decently painted in detail and everything. The blue even has a bit of a sparkle to it, for lack of a better word. I don't know if it shows up on camera. That's basically what shows up there, as does the gold. The gold has a nice sparkle to it as well. So yeah. They even got the SPD thing, which I assume is more of a decal thing that they just lightly paint on with a mold. But yeah, as you can see, the SPD logo right there, everything. And this was something I actually didn't notice, or actually didn't know that you could do, because Dawson Ryder, I don't think, knew it in his review. But you can actually take out or rotate out the thing right here for his morpher. I think the morpher should have been painted gray, at the very least, to show it's a different piece. But it is molded, and you can probably just paint it to be more accurate and everything. Yeah, it goes back and forth. It kind of feels like it'll come a little bit loose, but it also feels like it's pegged in there pretty well. That's what she said. But yeah, so to show off the articulation, head can do a 360, as well as move a little bit back and forth. The midsection, I don't like that clicking. but the midsection can move back and forth a little bit, both that way and that way. Yeah, and then the arms at the shoulders can move back and forth that way, can go up to 180. Double joints in the elbows. Hands can do a 180, as well as they come out. I'm not going to do that because it's kind of a waste of time, as well as the fact that it doesn't come with replacements for both hands, and I don't understand why. Actually, hold on one second. Where did it go? Might have fell on the floor. Alright, sorry, I just had to find it. There's a little SPD card that they had in the show that the Rangers would judge the characters rather than, I think in Decker Ranger they killed them. They instead trapped them in these little ID card things with their morphers and everything, which actually was pretty cool. An interesting way to defeat a bad guy. But yeah, so you have that with the arms, like I said. The legs can do a 180 right there, but they have articulation there. A not even 180, more like a 45-degree angle on that joint. Double joint on the knees. I hate bending these because it always seems like I'm going to snap something. This makes me feel uneven. And then the ankle joint can go back and forth on 3 different angles and everything. So, yeah. So that is basically that, and to have them side by side with the Shadow Ranger, it's actually not too bad. They're about the same height, a little bit different depth with the helmets, but yeah, honestly, pretty good for fitting them both in. Unfortunately, does not come with an optional head replacement, because, well, for the majority of the show, Omega Ranger was never shown in his human form, outside of one brief glimpse of an actor that stood when he went back to the future in the last episode. But that was just about it that we saw of his human form. Because he's the future version of a kid that was in the early on in the show, and I don't know why. It was really weird from what I've heard from behind the scenes information. It was for budget reasons. I guess for them it was cheaper to hire a voice actor and pay a suit actor rather than having a regular screen actor on screen. So they came up with some bullshit about the Omega Ranger not being able to transform back to normal because of the stuff with the time travel, which I don't necessarily know makes sense. So they also had to pay CG artists, though, or special effects artists, to animate this little glowing ball of light for him. And I genuinely have no idea how that's cheaper than just hiring another actor. It would take less time to do as well in the special effects department. But whatever, I guess. So yeah, and just to show this, I think, yeah, it just fits in his hand for the card. But yeah, so I just genuinely don't know, especially when his Decker Ranger counterpart, Deca Break, had an actual actor on screen. Because I don't believe Deca Break was from the future. I believe he's just another Ranger in the series, but that gets recruited or brought on later on, so I don't really know. But good figure. Honestly, never had an Omega Ranger figure. I like that they included the bike, even though it jacked up the price by $10. It is pretty good. I like finally getting figures like this that are well worth the money for the most part. Don't recommend I don't recommend the Drago Ranger figure until Hasbro actually offers a replacement head for the head sculpt, and then does a second wave of them with the corrected head sculpt. You know, it doesn't make any sense why they did it like they did. But yeah, but this figure itself is really nice. Just show them side by side with the Shadow Ranger again. Pretty nice, pretty well done. I like it a lot. Kind of confused as to why they didn't have another hand for his left hand rather than, or his right hand rather than his left. But, you know, whatever. So, yeah. I really wish, though, that they did have a replacement head sculpt for the actor that played him for the 2 seconds he was on screen in the last episode. It couldn't be that much to actually pay that guy for the usage of his likeness. I mean, they're paying the rest of the actors, so yeah. But anyways, so not much else to say. Links in the description, all my shit. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.